Hey guys, I am going to go over a seller disclosure with you today because so many people do not understand what is required by Washington state law when you are selling your home and how you want to fill them out. So I'm going to show you. Each question, which there are a ton of questions, have the option to answer yes, no, don't know, or not applicable. Washington state law requires that every single question has to have one of these boxes checked. Otherwise, it doesn't count as complete. And if you as a seller do not complete this seller disclosure when you are selling your home, then the buyer actually has the right to walk out of the sale at any point all the way up to closing, even if they sign saying that they received it, because you didn't give them a completed copy. So again, super important. And I'm just going to show you another page of it. So this is an example of one that gets missed all the time because it's kind of all off on its own and it gets overlooked all the time and nobody checks anything. That would count as incomplete. One other thing to note is that whenever you fill one of these out, you'll see that a whole bunch of these questions have asterisks next to the letter. If you answer yes to any question that has an asterisk, then you are expected to fill out right here in detail what the reason is that you put a yes on that question. So if you leave this blank and you put a yes on one of those, then your realtor should be asking you for more details on that. So that is a seller disclosure. And I'm also going to talk about the inspection addendum. So the inspection addendum is something that a buyer will use when they are buying your home to protect themselves so that they can get an inspection and make sure, since it is a buyer beware state, that everything is, up to their standards for the home and there are no surprises. And so when a buyer uses an inspection addendum, there is this spot right here that says seller requests. And they're not supposed to check one of these boxes. You as the seller are supposed to select one of these boxes when you respond to their offer. And if you do select one, then you will be giving them permission to send you a copy of their inspection report or a portion of it. If you do not check any of those boxes, they are not allowed to send you any portion of their inspection report, or if they have additional inspections, they're not allowed to send you anything on that as well, and they're not allowed to tell your agent. So why is that really important? Because if you list your home and you have your own listing agent and a buyer comes along and they say, I want the listing agent to represent me, the buyer, as well, because I don't have my own agent, I don't want to pay for my own agent, or you don't want to pay for their agent, which is fine, then if the listing agent is representing both the seller and the buyer, then they are practicing what is called limited dual agency, which means that they cannot say anything or do anything that would harm either party. However, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be accidentally or unintentionally privy to information that could harm the seller in the future. So say the buyer gets their inspection and they decide to schedule it, and you need to be present because someone has to let the inspector in, and if the buyer wants to be present for the inspection, you typically need the agent there as well. So then listing agent hears from the inspector discussions with the buyer on things that the inspector is finding wrong with the home. And now listing agent has this information about what is wrong with the home. Let's say the buyer goes away and now listing agent is still representing the seller. Well, because the listing agent is representing the seller, they have to share that information. Seller is supposed to update their seller disclosure with that information as well. The information that they were made privy to, kind of against their will, because they went ahead and allowed dual agency. So something to be aware of, and I just wanted to give some good education on that. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. See ya.